The video game industry moves fast, but we move faster. This is the Turbo Button Show with Darien and Jacob.
Hello, guys, and welcome to the Turbo Button Show for November 16th, 2017. I'm here with Christian.
Hello. Again.
And today we're going to be talking about, well, the Nintendo Switch and hackers and how they have already cracked the Nintendo Switch on putting a homebrew launcher. I think it's a homebrew launcher, even though there's no homebrew for the Switch yet. But they got a homebrew application up and running on the Nintendo Switch. It only works on firmware version 3.0.0. The Switch currently is at version 4.0.1, and you can't play games that are currently coming out on the 3.0.0 firmware because they'll automatically update your system with the 4.00, like Mario Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to play Mario Odyssey, you can't play homebrew.
They gotcha there.
Which Nintendo, well, it's been a thing since the PSP with Sony, that you can't play certain games unless you have certain firmware, because certain firmware versions have different revisions to the OS that some games do need those revisions to play, or they just won't run because they're like, oh, I'm sensing an old version of the firmware, you're not as secure, you can't play this because exploits, blah blah blah. We don't want you tinkering with our closed source system because Nintendo's console isn't an open source system. You buy it knowing that. And, if you keep the system at version 3.0.0 and you have the homebrew stuff on there, you're violating some of the stuff that is in your warranty. Your warranty's gone.
Right.
Start messing with it like that. But, if you really want to get version 3.0.0, just use Pokken Tournament DX to get to that desired firmware.
I'm just sitting
here. But, if you want to play Mario Odyssey, you have to upgrade, so it's a catch-22.
So, if you want to play Odyssey, don't get this. But if you want to be some little hacker dude, I guess have fun with that.
If you want a homebrew channel that does nothing, but, some hackers are talking about getting emulators up and running on the Switch. But, that's going to probably be pretty rough at first. It's the Wololo homebrew community that's been reporting that they've been messing with the Pega Switch toolkit. So things are happening. I don't see really much being done to have homebrew on the Switch because, it doesn't have a web browser that can open any link.
Correct.
It's very closed source. It's really difficult to get into the Switch's internals. Even though people are like, oh, we can't do code injection, we can't do this, we can't do that. You can't really do much on the Switch, which I think that's the reason why we don't have really Netflix or YouTube yet. Because, with YouTube, you can do code injection there because it's user-created content. You can put user-created links. Netflix has just exploit upon exploit, so they got to iron those out. Hulu, I think, got on there because, nobody really uses Hulu for that manner. It's actually a pretty closed platform.
Right.
So is Netflix, but I really don't know. There might be some exploits they got to work out because Nintendo is being very vigilant on making sure that their Nintendo Switch is safe and secure.
Right, because, it's also kids play it, so maybe that's what they're going to say. Think of the children.
I don't really think,
I mean, Sony's like that with multi-plat, for example.
We're not talking about multi-plat, we're talking about...
But still, I'm trying to make a point here.
Well, okay.
Also, I've been just sitting here listening to your Wonderful commentary.
Okay.
So that's it. Homebrew's on the Switch now. Well, just a little channel that doesn't do anything.
It's not a channel, it's an application. As I
Thanks,
Point.
Grandpa.
my Joy-Con at you.
Okay. But most users won't be able to even get it because they're mostly on 4.00 right now.
Yep. Well, 4.0.1.
Oh, whatever.
4.0.0 was the last
Update 4.
one. Yeah, update 4. Firmware revision number 3, technically.
But I'm pretty sure at the end of this thing's life, we're going to have more homebrew or like better homebrew.
We'll definitely have homebrew stuff, but it's less than a year in. I don't really see much, especially with like homebrew applications and people actually cracking software, getting it to run unofficially.
This is not a 3DS, a PSP, a DS that you can easily do homebrew on it and have it.
Well, those
go.
have been out for a long time.
Exactly. The fact that they were able to put homebrew on this pretty early on in its life, it's pretty impressive.
It's still a proof of concept, really.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really expect to see much out of it in the next few months. I'd say give them until late 2018, early 2019 before we'll actually see something that's actually pretty remarkable. It's impressive, nonetheless, that they've actually gotten homebrew on the system running, but it's running on firmware that's pretty, it's not that old. It's not even a year old firmware, but it's pretty out of date when it comes to, being able to play current games, being able to get on the eShop, being able to just use the system online. Because if the system isn't up to the current firmware, you can't really go online and play your games.
So here comes Nintendo with stability updates.
Yep, Nintendo's going to definitely come with their stability updates and make the system so stable that you can put horses in it. So, if you like this episode, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell so you don't miss any notifications. Also, Christian, how do we support the show?
By going to the shop, you can support us. You can go to www.gamingboss.com/shop.
Missed a W at the beginning.
Whatever. And there's going to be
The World Wide Web, not the worldwide or the web.
You can get shirts, cups, I don't know, an apron, clothing. So, Darien.
Yeah?
I'm going to say goodbye.
See you guys later.
New episodes and other content can be found on TurboButtonShow.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.